What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the current contract riff that's going on between the Green Bay Packers and their star wide receiver, Davante Adams. He's a four-time Pro Bowler. He is 28 years old. No trade demands have been made by Davante Adams, but Jets fans, they didn't wait. They've gone to Twitter, they've gone to social media, and they've already started to speculate what it would take to land the star wide receiver. Let's go ahead and get after it. Before we get into the video, if you could all do me a favor and jet up the like button on this video, and if you're new here and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are giving away a signed Wayne Corbett mini helmet once we reach 1,000 subscribers, so give yourself a shot at the prize and support the channel all at the same time. Before I read this tweet from Ian Rappaport, I do just want to make sure it's crystal clear here. Davante Adams has not demanded a trade. His agent has not demanded a trade. This is all purely speculation amongst the fan base. And so I just want to make sure that's crystal clear here before I begin. So the tweet from Ian Rappaport, just from a couple of hours ago, it says, "It's not just Aaron Rodgers. The Packers and star wide receiver Davante Adams have broken off long-term extension talks. There are no current plans to resume them. The two sides have been negotiating for months, but they are now in a bad place, sources say. First the QB, now the #1 wide receiver." So there's a lot of turmoil going on in the Green Bay, organization with the players and the front office. They're not able to, see eye to eye in these contract talks. And unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, he's just not, he doesn't even want to play for the team at this point in time. And so Jets fans, they went to social media and they immediately started to talk about, what would it take to trade for Davante Adams? Because let's get it straight here. I mean, Davante Adams is an elite wide receiver. Some would say he's probably the best wide receiver, prior to the age of 30. This is probably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And so when you're talking about Zach Wilson supporting him, making sure that the offense is successful this season, it certainly would not hurt to have a Pro Bowler and a star wide receiver in Davante Adams on this offense. So then the question really just becomes, do the Jets need Davante Adams? And if they feel like they do, what would it take to acquire him? Now, first, I'm going to answer it right now. If I'm Joe Douglas, if I'm in charge of the New York Jets, I am not trading for Davante Adams. And so the reasoning behind that is because they've already invested so many draft picks into this wide receiver group and in free agency by bringing in Corey Davis, by bringing in Keelan Cole. No, those guys are not on the same level as Davante Adams. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am saying is they've invested in the wide receiver position in the draft so that they could have not only short-term success, but also long-term success. And what I'm talking about is that Denzel Mims and Elijah Moore have all of the potential to be outstanding wide receivers in this offense. And again, when you include players like Corey Davis and Keelan Cole, you're talking about a pretty complete and well-rounded wide receiver group. And that's not even mentioning Braxton Berrios and Jamison Crowder. So I feel very, very strongly about the wide receivers that we have on this team. The other factor here is that the New York Jets, as we currently sit here, we're all hopeful we can make the playoffs this season. And definitely by 22, we're hoping to make the playoffs. Do we feel like Davante Adams pushes us to becoming a contender in the AFC? And when I say contender, I mean a Super Bowl contending team. Because ultimately, that's what we all want. We want to win a Super Bowl. It's not really just about being good on offense. It's also ultimately becoming a great football team. And unfortunately, I don't think that by trading for Davante Adams, we suddenly become a threat in the AFC. I don't think we would be a threat this year. And unfortunately, even though I feel very, very good about the 22 offseason where we have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a third, 2 fourth-round picks, a boatload of money and cap space, I just don't think that Davante Adams is the right fit for the New York Jets. And honestly, I don't even think he'd want to play for the New York Jets. I think he would want to play for a contending football team. The last part of this video has to be about the trade compensation that it would take to land Davante Adams if Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur, they get together and they decide, okay, guys, we need to be aggressive. We need to go get Davante Adams. He is going to be the outside wide receiver along with Corey Davis. We're going to have, slot wide receivers in the middle that can make plays and get open. It makes our offense too good and we can't pass it up. If they make that decision, what would it take to acquire Davante Adams? And again, that's part of the concern that I have. I think that it would take a lot of compensation to acquire him. I'm thinking at least 1 first-round pick. So we would either be giving up our first-round pick in the upcoming draft or the Seattle Seahawks draft pick in the upcoming draft. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if I think the Seahawks are going to be a great football team this upcoming season. They didn't necessarily improve. And they're in a very tough division. They're playing against the Arizona Cardinals. They're playing against the Los Angeles Rams. And I just don't see that. Really, I don't see them competing, in my opinion. And so I don't want to lose a draft pick that could ultimately be, in the teens. That's a very, very valuable pick. And so trading a first-round pick and maybe even a player might be part of, what it would take to get the deal done. And a lot of the speculation that I saw amongst Jets fans was they would trade a first-round pick and wide receiver Denzel Mims, who was a second-round pick in the 2020 draft. And I'm just going to make sure it's crystal clear here. I don't like the idea of doing that. I think that Denzel Mims is way too valuable. People are trying to sell this guy off, and they don't believe in him. And there's going to be a video, coming up on the channel about Denzel Mims, and I just feel like people are way too quick to give up on this kid. He has loads of potential, length, size, catch radius. This guy is an absolute beast, and I think Jets fans just need to pump the brakes on Denzel Mims. He's going to be a good football player, and I'm not prepared to give him up in a trade for Davante Adams. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I'm crazy for saying no to trading Davante Adams? Would you make the trade? And if so, what would you give up? If you agree with me, if you would not trade for Davante Adams, what are your reasons for not wanting to trade for the 4-time Pro Bowler wide receiver? That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching NYJ Today. Guys, if you could do me a favor and jet up the like button on this video, and if you're new here and you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go Jets, and I'll see you guys next time.